What's up, fellas? Happy All-Star.
Oh, thank you, man. Happy to be here, man. Happy to be here.
How many All-Star weekends? How many is it for you, Kiss, Ro?
I mean, I stopped counting, man.
Right.
I started AN1 in 1996. That was the year, I came up with the idea with the AN1 mixtape, so it's been ever since then.
Damn.
Hold on a second. Anybody in the building? If
you've ever watched
the AN1 mixtape, throw your hands in the air.
Sheesh.
Word.
Come on, man.
If you wait, hold on. If you actually went to the sneaker store and got the VHS, raise your hand. Okay.
I still got mine.
Word.
Yeah.
Word?
Yeah.
I still got my VHS.
Yeah.
VHSs.
VHS. Yeah, I said
VHS.
VHS.
Ooh.
Kiss.
What's
How many
up?
All-Stars is this for you, man?
I started coming to All-Star when I was financially able to. So I would say since about 96 too.
Okay,
Yeah.
for sure. And, I would say for you, both of y'all, right, just to jump right in it, thinking about what does culture mean to you, you know what I mean? And what does it mean now, that people are calling you, GOATs or cultural icons, thinking about 96, where you were your first NBA All-Star to now, right, where you're both, pioneers of culture. What did that mean to you?
I think for me, culture is a collective people coming together for a reason, a place, a thing, a person. And it's just been incredible to see all these different cultures come together. Like just since we had All-Star for the sport of basketball, I was blessed to see, getting that job at AN1. I broke it down into pillars. It was basketball, professional, then it was basketball, street basketball, there was music, there was a clothing brand, so it was fashion, then it was retail. So, I didn't look at them as AN1. I learned retail through the Foot Action and Foot Locker wave. Then I learned clothing because of what they made. So, to finally see 6 or 7 cultures coming together for one topic, which is basketball, is amazing.
Facts. I'm just happy to be here.
Trademark.
Like my brother said, he comes and networks, but I'm more like a sponge. I'm listening, looking, observing. I love to see the younger artists, intertwine with the legends and the OGs, and I think that's important. More about listening. A lot of people come, they look for the lit factor of it. I was hanging out with you last night. I had a great time, and it's more about just like soaking it up and trying to see where you can take it to the next level.
Man, it was crazy because, we was hanging last night and you see, the OGs, the young dudes, the Halliburtons, you know what I mean? Brandon Miller, and for you, you know what I mean? Like, man, they was going crazy, you know what I mean? And so it's like, talk about your brand, right? How as an artist, a person, you've been able to sustain a level of excellence, you know what I mean? And be relevant with this next generation as well. What does that mean to you?
It means everything. I mean, you are your brand. You know what I mean? When you step in a room, when you speak, when you arrive, they're seeing your brand. The young guy, the bridge the gap of the youngins and the elders is where I think we're having a little turbulence, and that's why last night was beautiful for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? For them, some of them probably only know my music through their brothers or their older uncles or their fathers or whatever, but to see the love be reciprocated like that, it means you're doing a good job with your brand.
Excellent.
So, Kiss, like when it comes to giving game to the young artists that are coming up, or even the young ball players, what's the first thing that you offer to them if they come to you looking for those jewels and guidance?
Your work ethic. For me, I had to be in the studio. For them, you have to be gym rats. As an individual, you have to be open to criticism and listening. You don't want to be surrounded by yes men or people that's just there for the money or the cause or the lit factor. You know what I mean? Every day's about getting better, working hard, and you get back what you put out.
Same question for you, because of course you're legendary. You changed the culture in so many different ways. When the young school kids come to you, like what are you telling them outside of the work? We know you have to put in the work. What are you giving them for advice?
For me, man, I'm really spiritual, so it's always God first for me. But you know, if a person, you know, I don't look at a person if they don't believe in God or whatever. It's faith, you know, like, because at the end of the day, if you believe it, you can achieve it. So if you don't believe it, or you need everybody else's opinion, or you need to see comments or likes, you already failed. So I just let people know, believe in yourself. For me, believe in God first, and then believe in yourself, and it'll happen.
Kiss, if you would describe your rap style with 5 NBA players, who would be the Jadakiss of basketball?
Wow.
Or 3.
Allen Iverson.
Absolutely.
Melo.
Yep.
KG.
Facts. Totally.
KD.
KD.
BD.
There it is.
Side note, did you hear the bars that KD spit? That was on social.
Yo,
Incredible.
awesome.
We came up with a name, K Electronica.
Yeah, I was talking to him about it last night. I thought it was super dope. His artistry was, me and Free was speaking. I said he sounded like a modern day one of the Fireside members.
Wow.
It was just, you know, his flow, the way he was riding, his delivery, what he was talking about. It was awesome. I was telling him last night, he like, yo, really coming from him? Like, hey, he did it, man. Just keep it. We gonna get one in. He like, all right. So yeah, he just did his thing.
Hey, Free, talk about the evolution of that, you know, because Kiss, you was the first commercial music video as a rapper. Free, you're the first music in a, like, mixtape. You're the first mixtape. Like,
Right.
really, like, the right way to do a mixtape. Talk about that evolution and what you're seeing now and what you started.
Well, he can go first because his commercial
That commercial is epic.
bigger than my mixtape, allegedly. So
You said it, not me. But
The new A5s, you got to rock them. They even put the zone in the league to try and stop them.
but you know the lyrics?
I mean, I might remember a lyric or two. But.
Do you know the lyrics to the commercial?
I had a lot of tracks. I didn't have one track.
Talking about the commercial with Styles and KG that you did after the joint with me.
Shouts out to P. But we don't know the lyrics to my joint.
Now, just being a fan of the sport and being a big fan of Allen Iverson, when I got that call, it was like a no-brainer. And then before we even recorded any music or anything, I had to meet up with him. And we had to stop, like, dapping each other up and giving each other our flowers and like, yo, we got to get to the business. What are we going to do here? And he was just like, do what you do. Shout out to Chris Robinson, Steve Stout, Rough Riders, all of the people. Track Masters, definitely. Tone and Poke. And the rest was history. But for me, he was already one of my favorite players, so once he called me, I couldn't wait to do it.
He's one of the few rappers that's ever been shouted out there in a Hall of Fame speech. So shout out to Kiss. Hey, I definitely did shout him out.
I was honored to be there. My first time there, and he put me in a speech. I couldn't believe it. It's crazy.
I mean, for me, that was the moment. That was the moment that we all as athletes were waiting, like as hoopers, we were waiting for. We was like, oh shit, like, damn, like it's not a commercial, that's a video. Like, what the fuck is this? Is it a shoe deal? Like, we don't know what it was.
I'm gonna tell you what happened from my side.
Okay, go
Literally,
ahead.
the commercial dropped. We had a mandatory email went out like midnight that everybody had to report to Antoine the next morning at 7 a.m. And everybody thought we was getting fired. We thought we was getting bought out, and the owners was turning pink. It was like the bullet. You know how you got the crime board?
Yeah.
That was on the top of the board. Like, this will destroy us. And I said,
It be your dogs.
I was like, damn, man. I was like, I'm gonna call his brother. I'm gonna get his brother out there. And that was actually what I was like, they got Kiss. I got it. And his only other one at that time, I was like, P's the only person that's equal to him, just in my opinion. And I was like, it's nobody else I could get that even could come close to what they did. No, but sure. It turned out, it literally turned the whole And1 business around after that commercial.
So just for historical sake, because I don't remember, Kiss commercial was first.
I don't even remember what he's talking about.
No, I'm talking, so we had the mixtapes first.
I know the mixtape, but I'm talking about the KG Styles P ad that y'all had.
It came afterward.
It came, okay, I'm just, I'm trying to
Did they
get
ever air it, though?
I seen it. I recorded it on Rap City when they showed it in the commercial. I got it on the tape somewhere.
He killed me.
Just saying.
It was independent.
We was on like on local TV.
It was still banging though. It was still banging.
But no, it was a, you know, because you couldn't really tell us nothing at that time. And when we felt we was on top of the world when it came to hip hop and basketball. None of the other brands was even touching it. Nike was like, we're not worried about nobody was worried about street basketball. So we felt the mixtape was dominant. We had retail, we had music, we had hip hop. But they took a pro athlete and connected it with hip hop. You know, I took hip hop and connected it with street ballers. So they took it to the level that they got the respect of the league, all the players, all the labels, and it was an amazing moment, I think, for everybody.
So I know everybody, for the most part, has seen the mixtapes. I don't know if you've all seen the documentary. By the way, 2 documentaries, because there's the one on the Netflix and you got one on ESPN. Totally. Just to take people back, to give people perspective, where did the creative genius come from to actually put the mixtapes with the hoop highlights? Where did that come from for those that haven't seen the documentary?
So for me, when I was DJing, I used to always, back in the day, it was like, you thought you was lit when you had the little TV hanging from the ceiling with the VCR on the bottom of it. So, I had the TV with the VHS attached in it, and it was hanging, and it hung above my turntables. But I used to always DJ the cartoons just because that's what I used to look at. I'm just a little left with it. So a guy at the job, his name was Jeffrey Smith, it was 10 VHSs at And1, and they was always in the kitchen. And he had showed them to me, and I was like, y'all are sitting on billions in gold. And I said, you know what, can I take this home? And he was like, for what? I just said, I need to just take it home. So I remember taking out the Ninja Scroll VHS and putting in the Ray for All. It was actually called the Skip Tape. And it was just all the Rucker footage games and the Gaucho's Gym games. And I put it in, and I always turned the volume down on the TV. And I'll never forget, the record was Mobb Deep, Temperature Rising. And Havoc has some of the best snares and sampled in the game. And I played Temperature Rising, and it's the first 4 bars is just the drums. And the snare hit a jump shot, and the kick hit a dunk. And once that happened, I just stayed there all night and played Temperature Rising to the tape. I stayed up till like sun came up. And then I went into the office and I said, I got it. And I told them that they had to put me in a studio. But I only been back in the day, Chung King, Green Street, Quad. And these studios didn't have video capability, like where you only went there to make a record, but it was never a studio where you could take a tape and put it together. And they was like, well, you got a studio. And they was like, we can put you in here in a studio in Philly or New York. And I said, that's not what I need. I need a studio where we could take this VHS and we could take my turntables and connect this. And they put me on the plane the next day with my turntables and records, and they flew me to Miami to the Marlin Hotel. And I forgot the owner of the Islands Records. He had a studio in the back. And they put me in there, and they had the video capability. And just to tell the whole story, I had a bunch of records, promos, and white labels, but it wouldn't work because I mashed it up the right way. But if we would have dropped those records with the tape, those records was already out. So it wouldn't have been a mixtape. You can't put records out with records. Back then it was I knew this was my shot to complete with Clue and S&S, Doo-Wop, Tony Touch. I was like, if I don't get records before they come out,
Exclusives.
it's not gonna work.
Right.
So literally, I called Tommy Boy Records and Raucous Records, and they made test presses for me for those the records that was on Volume 1.
That's hard.
So that's the whole story of it.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. Clap up for that.
I gotta give you
Thank
some
you.
Hold on, wait,
on
wait.
that, OG.
Hey, just for the DJ, man, how many crates did you have to take on the plane with you to Miami? How many crates was it?
No, I just took it was the techniques in the flight cases.
No, I'm talking about the actual records.
I just took a bag because
okay.
because I still had to test the process of just it was just a technique. Techniques had a fire black bag, a soda bag with the word Techniques on it, and I took like maybe just 12 records just to because literally we had to sit in the studio, load the record in, and this this was on tape and loaded in and the DATs and
It was still the real era.
yeah, the real era.
Yeah,
So the real era connected to, I think it was an Avid back then.
Wow, the Avid.
And the Avid was like super big and like, sitting there to load the records in, but then trying to do the cuts in and then lay that and then he's trying to splice the cuts to. It was. I literally was in the studio for 2 weeks just to try it. Wow. And then halfway through, it was like, oh, this ain't gonna work because these ain't new records.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And this is before the internet, so I know a lot of people DJ now. You can just put it on your computer. Like you had to get the actual records back then. Like
Yeah, you have to go. You have to go ask.
I had to go back to the labels and say,
Yep.
all these records are out already. And I was like, can y'all make me test presses of these records? And the first person that did it was, shouts out to Raucous, Common. Common was the first person. And he didn't even have a record deal. He got dropped at that time. And he had a record that was coming out on Raucous, which was the 1999 record. And he gave me the permission to use his record to launch the N1 mixtape.
Fire.
Yeah.
All right, business inside the game. Coffee.
Talk about it.
All this experience, right now, an entrepreneur, getting into the space. Tell us about Kiss Coffee, Kiss Cafe, actually.
My dad's been in the coffee game for over 40 years. He started off working for the Maxwell House division. He raised me off coffee. Coffee is all I knew, from a little kid. But my dad's job was coffee. Beans would be all over the house and the garage, but I didn't really know. Driving me to school, he would stop and make me get him a butter roll and a light and sweet coffee. And then eventually that started turning into 2 butter rolls and 2 light and sweet coffees. But fast forward, after the first verses that I did with Fab, they were saying I was Jada drunk. And my kids were over my mom and dad's house, and they were showing them the live, like the comments, and people like, get Kiss some water, get him some coffee. So he was just speed thinking, I call it, and he tried to come up with something called an antidote or something. It wasn't right. It was too related to being inebriated. So we scratched that idea. And then after the second verses with Dipset, he was like, yo, getting a lot of momentum. The phone is ringing. I think it's time to do your own brand, the coffee. So we sat down. He did the roasting, of course. Once we thought we got a good product, we bought in, we called Free in the compound for the marketing. We crossed our fingers, dotted our I's and T's, and we launched it. People liked it. It was genuine. It's one of the best coffees out there.
Right.
But the most important thing is my dad and my son,
right.
Which is 3 generations coming from where we come from. That's a rare thing.
And I was just about to bring that up because I saw the picture that you posted on IG with all 3. That was a beautiful moment. So how important is it for that legacy to carry on from your father to you to now your son?
Oh, I think it's very important. Like I said, growing up, it was only a couple of dudes that had dads. Either and he was everybody's dad, or your football coach was the dad, or your basketball, your AAU. So just to have a dad is a beautiful thing. But to launch a business with your dad and your son, whether it's successful or not, I think it's just a hell of a
That's a beautiful
feeling.
No
you know
doubt.
what I mean?
Yeah, and then talk about talk about. I mean, we know y'all relationship, but you know the marketing side, the branding, just attacking. I love coffee, so you know
It's
what was the thought when y'all two connected? You know about the brand.
For one, he doesn't take me serious until like the last minute. So I was mentioning it to him like, yo, Free, I need your expertise. I'm gonna need you to help me launch this coffee. He like, yeah, don't worry about it. I need you to come with me to the Yankee game. I need you to, like, Free, I'm trying to do this damn coffee. So I finally got him and his staff up to the office to meet my dad, which that had to be the icebreaker because my dad is crazy. So I'm like, Free, he's a little bit, you're weird, but he's crazy. So just bear with me. He met him, he worked it out, and then the rest was history.
I think for me, I remember it like vividly. Is we was in Kiss' car and I went to his house and he got a road like a Porsche commercial, you know, one of them roads with the trees. And I think like, you know, Sam Cooke was on or something. And it was like a scene there. He was about to get me lined up. And then he turned around and was like, look, man, I'm a really, you know, when your brothers or just people and humans ask you like for help, that's one thing. But when they say help with their family, that's a whole nother level. You know, not just him as my brother, but his son, his father. And that legacy extends to grandkids and the name, you know. So when I finally took him serious and we was in the car, I was like, okay. And to talk about that is even when we talked about the logo, you know, the idea I came up with the three beans on the bag. The three beans represent his father, the son, and Kiss. Kiss's father and Kiss's son is the three beans of the logo. And if you notice, the three beans, they're interlocked because that's how I feel their legacy is. So, you know, it's honestly an honor to for him, us being friends in all we do, but, you know, it's another level when, you know, we black men and first and foremost, but when a black man extends to work with him and his family, forget the money, it was just an honor to be a part of it, and we're doing great. You know, it's a blessing to be a part of it.
It is a blessing.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Amen, man.
What's the difference in being an artist, performer, and being an entrepreneur? Like, what's the difference in that, or
That's for him, right?
I was for both of y'all. I mean, both of y'all, mainly for Kiss, because you know it's like now you got you the business, you the face of the business. You know, I don't know if you're raising money for the business, but we do have a lot of investors out here, so don't be afraid. They got money.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the question. Like, what's the difference in waking up knowing that this is my craft, this is my world, I own this, and now it's like, all right, I got a coffee company, I got this is Kiss Cafe. What does that world look like?
It's more about learning for me. As far as being Jadakiss the artist, I feel, even though school's always open and you can learn every day, I feel I perfected my craft as an MC, as a part owner of a coffee company. I'm learning, so it's like my journey starts back over. You know what I mean? I used to wake up early to go to the studio, and I still do. Now, part of the week, I gotta wake up early and go to the office. Or I gotta go meet a roaster, or I gotta go to the compound and Free and see the new bags. So it's almost like going back to school for me. And I was one of them kids that always asked a lot of questions. Keep asking you why after you already told me. So it's a beautiful thing for me to just keep learning. And the end goal is to leave it to my kids. So I'm trying to learn and obtain as much knowledge in the coffee field as I can while I'm here. So hopefully they'll be great while I'm not.
What about the mentorship portion? Because obviously you don't know what you don't know. So when you're coming into the game, whether it be an MC, DJ, whatever it is, but now in the business, start with Free and we'll go to Kiss after that. But who mentored you and showed you the game?
I think for me, first part is still faith, but the second was looking at a bunch of different people in different lanes. For me, in the documentary space, Chris Robinson is somebody I look to, who taught me my directing stuff and a lot of just storytelling. It's a photographer named Oluwaseyi when it came to photography. I just wanted to be around older people that it wasn't about their status or how big they was or accolades. It's like, if you're doing your craft, I can learn from you. Even one of the things, I always say this in a lot of interviews I do, and BD doesn't even know this, but one day I came to California to see BD, and I think him and Matt Barnes was together. And it's a quote I live by now, and it keeps me where I'm at. But BD told me, I think it's the first time I ever told BD in front of him, that BD told me, yo, Free, you got the mind of an athlete. And I didn't even understand what that mean. And the conversation when I said, yo, BD, you're retired now. And I said, how do you keep being who you are? And he said, yo, when I was in the league, I woke up at 5 a.m. and I trained. He said, why am I going to stop? Now I got to wake up 5 a.m. and answer emails. I got to wake up 5 a.m. and create. And that moment changed my life for, BD is one of my top favorite NBA players of all time. But for a person like Baron Davis to tell me I got the mind of an athlete, it was an inspiring moment. And thank you, brother. Definitely.
It's surreal.
But I think I get inspired from all different walks of life, and I think you can't just look at whatever you want to be, just don't look at that one lane, because it takes a lot of different pillars to become great in a lot of different areas of life.
Yeah. I get inspired by fear. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to let my kids down. I don't want to see my kids not happy. I don't want to see my mom not smiling. You know what I mean? So that motivates me to go. I wake up early and call Free. I try to do as much listening as I can. I read and pray. Praying is important, people.
It's a fact.
Absolutely.
Prayer works.
Absolutely. They ain't gonna clap for that. I'll clap for you, kids.
Y'all ain't praying?
They will when that turbulence hit on that airplane in the snow. They get to praying for sure. But no, I just want to add in, for me, and just hearing what I'm hearing, the business, the inside track, like not being, the fear, but also not being afraid to know, I've done this before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
chances make champions,
Yep.
BD. You know what I mean? You can't be afraid to try or step out there. You know what I mean? You never know.
you can only learn.
It's
Yeah.
a fact.
One of the things for me too, man, it was the blueprint is the same. The same way I understood marketing the And One mixtape is almost my same blueprint to marketing the coffee. The workout regimen is the same no matter if you're doing push-ups, dumbbells, squats. It's reps, it's repetitions, it's increase your weight after you grow to a certain amount and then go to another weight. So that's kind of what I look at, and no matter what the goal of the journey is, it's like the blueprint on life is the same. Work hard, it's gonna happen.
That consistency is key.
Fact.
So what's the next step? Obviously, two legendary individuals come together, do a major work together on the podcast, but what's the next step past the coffee, past the branding and marketing? What's the next step?
For me, it goes back to the beginning, working on 2 albums right now. And that's kind of like my safe haven place to create as well as think is what I'm going to do for while I'm making these 2 albums. I'll also be making 2 albums for life of what I'm going to do in the next, in the future run.
So hold up, 2 albums, so 2 solo joints? Or
2 solo. Yeah, we got Locks projects in the making, but
Okay.
I got 2 Kiss projects that I'm working on right
Double
now.
joint or 2 separate?
Nah, 2 separate.
Okay, got it.
Fire,
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Y'all heard it here.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
heard it here.
hey, you heard it. Yeah. We
It's
break
going down, baby.
Free.
For me, the compound is the name of my company, and it's always about putting things together through creativity. That could be a project, a collaboration, or just relationships. You know, just the same way this panel came together. This happened over a game of Madden when I was winning, beating BD.
Oh my God.
And we talked about me, him, and Kiss coming together. So here we are. So, you know, just putting things together.
Hey, Set Free turns the Wi-Fi off and on key plays. So the screens speed up so on my end and it slow down on his so he can run the play.
Oh, that's wow.
That's how you get first downs. That's how you get touchdowns. Yeah, that's what he does every time.
Yo, I just listen to what he said.
Or he'll say, "Hey man, go on live." I'll be up, go on live, and I'm trying to go on live, and he's running the plays. Dude, while he sees me on, this guy wants every advantage.
I just want everybody. The score is 2-2. We tied up in Madden, and y'all can see us soon on the show. It's coming soon.
Coming soon for sure. I do want to. Anybody take a couple questions?
Yeah, we
I
wanna
don't know
open
where
up.
we are on time. I didn't get a.
If you do have questions, just go
Okay,
ahead
we
and
got 5
line up
minutes.
over here.
Perfect.
It's
Thank
one
you.
If you got a question, or if you stand up and you can project your voice loud, you can do that. Anybody have questions in the audience for either of these 2 gentlemen, legends? Yes, don't be shy. Come over here. Come over here. Come over here.
What's going on? My name is Tay from Chicago, part of the Academy Group and the CEO and founder of TGI Movement, a nonprofit based in Chicago. So giving back to the community is really important to me. So I just want to know, you included, how do y'all give back to the specific neighborhoods that you all grew up in with the work that you all are doing now?
I do several give backs all year round. For the schools, for the homeless, for the single parent mothers, turkey drives, coat drives, toy drives. We pay for the kids to take the firemen and policemen tests. We do it all. Juices for Life. That's where we mostly do all of our give back programs.
We got another question, or you wanted all of us to
Come over here. Come over here. If you have a question.
I wanna answer that. You know, I'm gonna say something crazy. Give back, yeah. Give access, give opportunity. So, you know, when we make it, we need to stop thinking about giving back. We need to give access and opportunity for somebody to come up. So, you know, we're always gonna do turkey drives and do toy drives. It's really building small businesses, building up other entrepreneurs. If I can't do it and they can do it, how can we get them funded? And so it's really about, we need to change the give back thing to how do we give access, you know, and how do we give opportunity back to our community. That's
That's a fact.
That's a bar.
Perfectly said.
Get a bowl.
all up.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Kat. I'm from Chicago, also from the Academy Group. My question is, what's your North Star? At the end of the day, like, what are you working for?
I'm working to inspire people to believe in God. For me, to have faith. You know, after God, believe in yourself. You know, don't worry about what people think and their opinions. Just believe in yourself, and it'll happen. If I can inspire people to believe in themselves, the world will be a better place.
One person at a time.
Amen. Go ahead, come up. If you have a question, come to the side of the stage. I got this mic and we can project.
Hey, yo, I'm Sheldon Bailey, I represent True Religion. You all are some of the most versatile people in your field, right? And considered to be the coolest, right? Being cool. Can you explain the cool factor for me?
Cool is being healthy. You know what I mean? Taking care of your responsibilities and being happy. And believing in yourself and not worrying about the outsiders and the naysayers, that's cool for me.
Two things for me and cool, and one is for my pop. God rest his soul. Is he told me a jewel. He said, if you can go to sleep at night, or you can stare yourself in the mirror and be proud of yourself, you won.
There it is.
All right, man. You got one more question, and then we're going to wrap it.
What's going on, guys? David Millay. I host a podcast called Flip the Switch. But my question to y'all is, you both created tons of fans in your own individual careers. What marketing principles are y'all using to apply to the coffee brand from those individual careers?
I think for me,
This is where you made me Jason Phillips outside of
Jadakiss. To that point, one of my main things was I get to know Jason Phillips. The world only knows Jadakiss, and and I get to know Bob Phillips, and I get to know his Jaywan Phillips. So that was, let's show you a human. Let's show that this is a real business and a real family. And, that was the one thing, and one of the things I live by. Everybody say marketing, but if you don't get out in the market, you ain't gonna know marketing. And we're blessed to have his father. He's been in the coffee market for over 40 years. So all of y'all, the laptop, I hear it, the Instagram and the phone. But if you don't get out here still in the market, don't do marketing.
Bar. Mic drop right there.
That's all, folks.
That's business inside the game.
One shout out we got. It's a guy.
We have a shout out. Sorry.
It's a guy.
The next panel is up, but we do want to
shout him out.
Get some flyers.
I got to shout him out because I met him in 1996. And he was a part of a company called Harrison Publishing, and he just won the Naismith Hall of Fame Award for basketball. Let's make a round of applause for y'all, for Dennis Page in the audience, everybody.
Hall of Famer, Slam Magazine.
We see you over there, man.
Yo.
Cultural icon. We appreciate it.
Legendary.
Thank you, guys. This has been excellent. Seth Free, Jadakiss, Jason Phillips. Get to know him. Kiss Cafe. This is Business Inside the Game.